Hey, good evening traders. We're going to take a look at crypto tonight, and as I am speaking, we've just in the last sort of 2 hours, hour and a half, we've just seen a turn in the markets. Dollar strength has resumed and we are seeing cryptos rolling over, which to be fair is something I've expected. I'm still thinking we're going to see potentially Ethereum down to $1,000. We do have this bear flag in play at present, but we've got sort of 1280, 1250 propping price up. So if we drop down to the 4 hour, we can see this bear flag in nice play. And for those of you that were watching this structural play here at 1400, you saw the big impulsive candle followed by a couple of indecisive candles. Then we broke the high of the 9 a.m. candle, and then we've broken the low. So that's a real key sign that we're likely to rotate lower towards the bottom of this bear flag. Now the question is, when we get to the bottom of this channel bear flag, are we going to see buyers step back in and push price up? So will we do something like this where we can rotate and keep going backwards and forwards until the market breaks down, or are we ultimately just going to see price push right through and continue its move lower? So I'm just going to bring over something for you to look at here, which is oh, where's it gone? Sorry guys, here we go. So commitment of traders report. Oh, it keeps disappearing. There we go. There we go. The commitment of traders report, and what I want to highlight here is we can see Bitcoin long contracts from commercial entities have been reduced by 55%. Ethereum's long contracts have been reduced by 84%, and a 12-month high on Ethereum shorts from commercials. This is percentage change. We've had a percent increase of 233% of their short contracts on Ethereum. So, you know, that doesn't bode well for me, and this just highlights that I think we're going to see one more push lower. And we need to see commercial entities stepping back in and starting to acquire these markets, and when they do, that will give us a true reflection on value, where we could see a potential bottom being formed. So as it is right now, options are, you could look for intraday trade short into around the 1300, maybe to test the 1250, 1280 level, or you're conservative and you wait for this support zones to break, and then we start looking for those trend continuation sells down to $1,000. Moving over to Bitcoin, Bitcoin did fare above $20,000 briefly, and you know, all the yeehaw traders, let's say it, were saying, oh, Bitcoin's still over $20,000, it's looking promising. Look, at the end of the day, I think if price had held maybe above 20,500, we could have seen a push towards 21, maybe even 23s. But ultimately, when we look at what was happening on the futures contract, my belief is we're going to head back down to test these 18,000s, and I think we could ultimately see a big puke through here, which will just be basically getting people out of the market, getting any leverage positions out of the market, and then we'll get to a point where price is appetizing enough to attract new retail investors. See, right at the minute, there's nothing that's attractive. We can see that the market is, we've got concerns of recession, we've got all sorts kicking off, negative sentiment. So at what point would you really want to be looking for long opportunities? Based on where we are right now, you know, look, if you're just if you're an investor and you want to hold on to positions, you could be averaging down at 18,300 right now. Next structural points, looking at the weekly, you're probably talking around 12,500. But when we see an actual change in sentiment will be when the market gets back above this sort of 25, 26,000, and then we can start trading and saying, right, we're in a bull market, and we can look to trade aggressively with that market. However, while price remains below here, this is purely speculative investment. People who are going to hold for the long term. These might be people that have been in from way back here. They might have bought up here, and as price is falling, they're averaging down, so they're bringing their average portfolio price down, which again, it all comes down to the belief and the way that you want to trade the market and how you think Bitcoin or blockchain is going to continue in the future, not just near future but distant future. Let's take a look at Ethereum's obviously suffered after the merge, but let's take a look at ADA. Where are you? Cardano. There we go. So Cardano would be like an alternative to the Ethereum after the merge. So we can see through here around 0.4 is a very nice structural point for Cardano. So you could look for potential buys here if you are holding this market and you're looking to run. But if we're going to see the market break down on Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's going to pull down your altcoins. So ultimately, I won't be looking at buying anything in any of these until we see Bitcoin or Ethereum start to turn the corner and we see some positive sentiment. So even though this could be a great price to buy, what are you buying from? You're just buying a technical level. There's no shift in sentiment. There's nothing from seasonality. There's nothing from commercial perspective. You're literally just buying a blind level, and that's not smart investment. And obviously there's people that just put money in every month, and then that's irrelevant. If you're putting money in every month, you either buy when it's high and then you buy as it's dropping, and you keep buying every month. You're buying some, and then as it rallies, you're buying every month, and that's called investment. So it doesn't matter. You run the course. So just as long as you know what type of trader you are, don't just jump in right now blindfolded and say, oh well, we're at 0.4, it's a nice structure point, time to buy. If you're going to look at it and say, right, what do I need to see? So give yourself a couple of rules and an outlined plan before you get into the marketplace. So you might want to see that Bitcoin and Ethereum start to turn positive. We see some change in sentiment, and then when you do that, you should see sentiment change on Cardano and the altcoins. So technically we could be looking at a break of the CTL. We could be looking at a break of these structure highs here. So you could see price doing this, and then we get change in cycle, and then we start to look and run that maybe back up in towards the 1.2. It all comes down to what the market is going to do. There's no point jumping in right now, but what we are going to set ourselves up for is if the market is going to puke, I want to be ready with a load of cash, ready to buy up all the markets that I like at extortionately cheap value. And if that means the world's going to go into recession for 1 year, 2 years, or 6 months, it doesn't matter. These will be forgotten about. These prices will be forgotten about in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be. So again, position yourself as a trader and have a plan to manage and execute and exit, more importantly. What else? So Atom has performed quite well actually, compared to a lot of the other markets. You can see Atom's been acting and respecting this channel really nicely, and then we had that impulsive move up, correction, failed to break the highs, correction, so we're now consolidating here. If we break through this like $13 barrier, we're probably going to head back down towards 10s, and this will be the way to the market. If the rest of the market starts to break down, you'll find that it's going to pull down the rest of the altcoins. Solana is a very popular coin out there at the minute. We can see that around $30 has been a price point that's propped this market up, but I wouldn't be surprised if we came back down towards 21. So expect to see the market test in 21. I've got alerts set down here at 21, and when we look at 21 and where it was, it's less than what, 85% of the previous highs. I mean, if we just look at that, I mean, these are some serious discounted prices we're getting right now. So 87% of the all-time high right now, and if we were to pop down to that structural point I've just mentioned, that'd be a 92% reduction on the all-time high. So some fabulous prices to be getting in some of these markets. I think we'll stop there. FTM is another one that I do like, but again, look at this. We've had a significant decline. We're what, 94% down now from all-time highs at 3.4. We're sitting down at 21 cents. So like I say, some huge discounted prices. Ideal for just sitting there, and if you like the project and you want to put a little bit of money into some of these projects for the long term. These aren't going to turn around overnight, and if we are going to go into a recession and we're going to continue to see dollar surge, you're going to see these markets sell off even more. So don't think this is the end yet. I think there's definitely more to go in these crypto space. Like I said, one more big puke and then we can start looking for a nice start turn and some bullish moves. But if you want to start dipping your toe anytime soon, then do it in small segments, small chunks, and then we can start looking at increasing our portfolio size based on market sentiment. So wait for the markets to turn before you start investing properly. I wouldn't be investing heavily, if at all, right now when you see that Bitcoin and Ethereum turn around. So I'm going to say that's it for me tonight, because there's not a lot to say until we do start to see some sentiment change. I will give you an update on the Commitment of Traders report next week. Hopefully that'll shed some light, see if we can see some commercial entities buying into the marketplace at these prices. Alright guys, have a great evening, and we will see you tomorrow with another update. Good night.